Hey, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, as always, as always. Welcome to the stream. My name is Maze. How are you guys? Um, Today we're going to check out the demo for Please Be Happy. I think this game is already released, but I'm just gonna try out the demo for now because I can't afford the full game. And this game is a visual novel. Um, I don't really know much. I didn't watch a trailer or anything. But I think this is like a girl's love story or something of that sort. So, let's check out. Let's see how long the demo is, what we can find out from the demo, and yeah. And let me move on to the game now. Chinanan. Oh, pada! Wait a second. Where is my audio? Chotto mate. There we go. Please let me know if the audio is too quiet, too loud, or, you know, if we have some other kind of technical issues. Yeah. I think let's just start now. Wait. Is my... There we go. Chananan! Oh, wait. Let's see the options first. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
What are you up to?
Ooh, what are you up to? I heard, I was informed that I think Crony voice acted here and stuff. Now that's pretty cool. Okay. How about text speed? I think I want it a bit faster. I don't know what these means. Sound. Should we lower this? Or keep it the same? Maybe. The voice though, I think we should increase the voice. Earlier I don't think. Hello, take care, drive safely. I think this is okay.
I like... sugar. I like sugar. Coffee and ice cream and
I feel like
cookies are all
the music is a bit loud. Like the voices are already maxed out, but I don't really hear the speakers. Or maybe I'll increase here. Let's check it out.
Novels, of course. My personal favorites are Austen and Eliot, but the current book I'm reading is so wonderful.
I love her accent.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't want to get carried away.
Is she Australian?
My pleasures are simple. A lovely night and fresh tea are more than enough.
Easy! I like to win.
Yeah.
I really love dinosaurs!
I think
The mornings that Tommy and I eat breakfast together are my favorite.
I'm okay
You can find
with
pleasure in
this
anything if you look hard enough.
level.
Today I like the moon. Ask me tomorrow and I may have a different answer.
Alright. Wait. Does that, you know? I didn't mean to close it! I thought it was gonna bring me back to the game screen. Oh my god. Wait a second. Chotto mate. While it's loading and all that. I like the voices too. There we go.
Please be happy.
Please be happy. Where's... There it is. Wait, why is it like that now? Yep. Yep, yep, yep. Oh, wait. What? There we go. I'm gonna start the game now for reals. Ito na talaga. The artwork looks so pretty.
New beginnings are exciting,
Ooh,
can't they?
yes it is. Indeed. Do I have to click? Fog settled over the forest, far from the villages and towns, and with it came silence. Now playing, a quiet moment. Birch trees shivered, pondering the weather, and dropped their leaves in fright. Yes. Streams bubbled, unseen by man, and babbled like the birds in the trees. In the middle of the forest was a grove, and in the middle of that grove was a log. It had been years since it had fallen. Once one of the proudest trees around, and now in death, was home to an abundance of life. A line of frantic ants ran to and fro. Mushrooms, cloud-like and pillowy, sprouted across one side, like a footpath for fairies. Isn't that like a term when there's like a row of mushrooms that sprouted? There's like a fairy something? Or was it if there's like a ring that's a fairy ring? I don't remember. Anyway, nearby, an old toad flopped contentedly in the mud, and inside the deep, damp hollow of the tree, something slept. A traveler strolled into the grove. Their steps were slow and tired, and they spotted the log with relief, like greeting an old friend. Weary from the day's journey, the travelers sat to take a rest. Whoosh! With a scrabbling of nails on rotten wood, a shadow bolted from inside the log to the tall grass nearby. The traveler watched the bush rustle as a faint patch of fur appeared within. "Hello there, friend. I didn't mean to disturb you." They held their hand towards the grass, offering a piece of dried fish. At first, there was no reaction, and then, first a snout appeared, quivering as it tested the air. Then followed the rest of the fox, sleek and tawny, as she took several slow steps forward. Her amber eyes were alight with mistrust, but also with wild curiosity. Whoa! The stranger sat unfazed, their offering still outstretched. They dared to meet the fox's eyes, and in that glance felt something kindred. As the fox closed her jaws around the gift, a bond was made. "Maybe we aren't so different, you and I." The traveler returned the next day, and the day after that. Each day, they brought some treat for their new friend. Each day, the fox's steps grew a little more trusting. Oh! One day, when the traveler arrived, the fox was sitting in the clearing, waiting patiently. Oh!
Hello, my friend.
Oh!
Have you been waiting long?
Not really. The fox peered up at the traveler. Her amber eyes were warm and trusting. She accepted her gift of meat, gnawing it at the traveler's feet then and there. The traveler sat, imprinting into their mind the feeling of the wood beneath them, the clean air around them, and the tender bond of companionship.
Where is your home, little fox?
Ooh,
Is it here in this grove?
they have a nice voice.
Or do you come to see me too? This will be the last time, I'm afraid,
Oh no.
because I'll be going home tomorrow.
Aw, take me with you.
Home is such a small place compared to the rest of the world.
Aw.
Yet, it's some place I can't wait to return to.
Home is where the heart is for some.
I wish I could bring you with me, little friend.
Take me with
I
you!
wish that you could see the world too.
I want to see the world.
Your home is all around me, though, isn't it?
I don't care.
It's wherever the trees are, wherever the leaves fall. Little fox, perhaps it's you who's the more fortunate of the two of us.
Why do you say so? All too soon, it was time for the traveler to go. No, don't leave me! Come back, my friend! Give me more meat! As they bade goodbye to the forest and to the fox, they knew that they would not return, but that they would carry the memories with them always. The next day, the fox was sitting in the clearing, waiting patiently. Aww, this is why you don't domesticate wild animals. Look at them. Look what you
We've
did.
now docked at Wellington Skyport.
Oh,
Thank you for flying with Kiwi Airlines. And we
oh,
hope to see you again.
oh, yeah, I forgot. I think this was set in New Zealand. So I think, what was her name? Aspen? Her accent is more of New Zealand than Australian. But yeah, like a fictional New Zealand, I think, was what I read from the description. Anyway, the intercom's announcement is muffled in the closet where I'm hiding. Just like the clatter of the seatbelts and the chattering of passengers getting ready to disembark. This is me. I look so cute. Pearl necklace? Nice. I wiggle around impatiently, sore from crouching in here for I don't know how long it's been. Hours for sure. The last few minutes always feel like they take the longest. My ears! A parade of footsteps begin to pass by. Outside my door. It's time. I listen carefully, waiting for the gap in the crowd. When it comes, I stand up and push the door open in a single movement. She blinks, I just noticed. Oh, oh! Hey! 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 I give a wink to the shocked-looking lady that I stepped out in front of. She doesn't even have time to grasp I'm out of her sight. I don't know how to freestyle. I tried. Humans. They're always kind of slow. I nod at the smiling flight attendant as I pass her by, and then throw up my hood to cover my face. It's been a while since I last flew, but it doesn't seem like things have changed much. It's always been harder to sneak on that. Wait, it's always been harder to sneak on than it is to sneak off. I follow the crowd to the end of the walkway and step out onto the ground. After a long stretch, I take a deep breath and savor the fresh air after being stowed away for so long. Wellington Skyport, New Zealand. Ooh, this is a nice, like, painterly like background. Ooh,
I made it!
hello. My breathless voice joins the pleasant hum of the Skyport. A few clouds drift lazily overhead, almost within arm's reach. The sound of waves rolling onto the shore is like a lullaby. It makes me want to burrow onto the sand and take a nap. Oh! But I can't. First, I need to get out of here. And there's one more challenge ahead. I wonder if this is an actual font, or is this made up? Up ahead, the snaking line of passengers splits as people are funneled into a few security stations. Well, I'm too far back to hear what the guards are saying. It looks like they're examining a little booklet from each traveler before letting them pass. Humans sure like processes and procedures. Dotovu? I definitely don't have a booklet like that. She's so cute! Glancing around, I hope to find another way out. An open window would work, or even an unguarded exit. I'm pretty sneaky when I need to be. Unfortunately, it looks like the only way to leave is through security. Without any other option, I join one of the lines and prepare myself. I'll have to do this the old-fashioned way. Ah! Cool. The line moves briskly as passengers are cleared one by one after another. And I'm almost at the front of the queue before I know it. As the passenger in front of me approaches the booth, I listen closely.
Good afternoon. Passport, please.
Right here. It's good to be.
I'm sure. Welcome back.
He stamps something in the man's booklet and then hands it back to him. And he continues on out of the skyport.
Next.
Aw, that's me. I don't know what they do to people without any papers. But I don't want to find out. I'm sure it involves lots of questions, and being escorted around and other unpleasant stuff. Casually approaching the gate, I put my brightest, friendliest smile while keeping a slight distance. With my breathing steady and tail calm, I'm sure I put on a convincing act.
Passport, please.
Of course.
I fumble around in my pocket, pretending to look for my passport. Instead, I grab the useless clunky phone that I've been carrying around and let it clatter onto the ground at the guard's feet. As expected, he bends down to retrieve it for me.
Oh, let me get that for you.
And I make a run for it, bolting ahead and rushing past the security booths as quickly as I can.
You wait!
Chotomate!
Stop!
Tomare! By the time they realize what's happened, I already have a few seconds head start. My inhuman speed combined with the natural chaos of the skyport should also buy me a bit of time. Still, I've gotta get them off my tail. I was gonna say trail. Do I click here? Dashing through the snow. That's not the words. Dashing through the skyport doors and out into the road outside. I'm a baddie. I don't even have time to take in the city. Without stopping for breath, I run into the narrow streets while weaving between cars and shocked bystanders. Being seen by so many people like this is annoying, but it won't matter by tomorrow. Putting the thought out of my mind, I vault over a low wall into a nearby alley and land in a crouch. Out of sight, but only for a moment. I close my eyes and relax my muscles. All feelings disappear except a slight warmth against my neck. My secret weapon. Dum, 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 dum. The unremarkable looking necklace is one of my only possessions, and by far the most important. The oddly heavy beads strung around my neck begin to heat up in response to my will, a soothing warmth flowing through my body. My hands and feet began to morph first, the fur chasing up my arms and legs as they distort and shorten. This sensation was so bizarre the first few times I tried. It's amazing how it's become second nature by now. Closing my eyes, I let my body and head shift and turn. My head shift and turn. The face is always a little uncomfortable, my once human face shifting and lengthening into a snout, with some difficulty. Ta-da-dam! The process complete. After barely a few seconds, I open my eyes not as a human, but as a fox. I'm so pretty! I dart away without a second thought, far quicker on 4 legs than I ever could be on 2. Obstacles like the stack of garbage cans ahead would be a pain to get past as a human, but instead I'm able to flit between the gaps without slowing down.
That's her! I know it!
Where? Sounds like the security guard hasn't given up on me yet. I pick up the pace, running as fast as my paws will take me. Oh, I have 7 tails. I think 7, or is it 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. His heavy breathing gets farther and farther away, and in a minute or two, I know I'm safe. I don't know where I am, but it's not like I knew where I was. Wait. It's not like I knew where I was when I started running. I almost feel bad for the guy who was chasing me. He never stood a chance. Even in the crowded city streets, there's no way anyone or anything can outrun me. The wind just wishes it could keep up with me. Comfortable that the danger is past, I slip onto another alley. Once I am sure that I'm alone, I close my eyes and concentrate on the form I want to take once more. A familiar flowing warmth runs through me again, my body stretching and deforming at my command. A few seconds later, I open my eyes to glance at my human hands.
Better luck next time.
Yeah. Brushing the dust off my jacket and hands, I nonchalantly stroll out the alleyway and back into the street. The odd person walks by on his errand or another, not paying any attention to me, just the way I like it.
Left, right, past turn, left.
Mapping out my path in my head, I look for a way to the main roads. It'll be easier to get my bearings there. I pick turns at random without any real destination in mind. When I decided to make the journey to Wellington, it was pretty impulsive. I'd overheard another pair of travelers talking about it and how beautiful a city it is. With a moment now to take in the scenery, I can see they weren't wrong. The streets around here seem like a mix of homes and businesses. Everything is very colorful. Even the brick walls are covered in pictures and paint. In the distance, I can see green hills that are lined with houses, as well as green hills that are completely empty. There are a lot of hills now that I look around some. From the few streets away, the sound of pedestrians in busy intersections floats my way. I head in its direction, taking shortcuts through yards and driveways when it's convenient. In one lawn, a big dog growls at me as I walk past. But when I transform and growl right back, he tucks his tail and runs away. After squeezing through one last narrow side street, I finally emerge onto what looks like a main road. There's no cars here, but tons of people on foot. There are brightly colored signs and decorations on most of the buildings. In the middle of the street, there are fountains and benches and trees and all kinds of stuff. The best part is the variety of stores. When I stroll past a few of the windows and peek in, I can already tell that I'll be able to do most of my shopping around here. There are stores with food, with clothes, and with just about everything else. I don't have any money on me, but that isn't exactly a problem. Are you gonna steal? What is a problem is that it's too crowded. Dodging a couple of security guards is one thing, but trying to escape down a busy street with lots of people could be too much even for me. I'll just have to remember where this place is and make another visit later. After all, the shops are closed. Then, a man in a bright coat hurries past me, talking loudly on his phone in a language I don't recognize. He's so distracted that he doesn't even notice when his wallet falls out of his pocket and onto the sidewalk. I notice, of course. Seeing an opportunity, I zip over and snatch it, prying open the black leather pockets, and I find... You're... Miho! A couple of bills and what I figure is the local currency. I slide the money out and onto a pocket of my jacket. By now, the man is far ahead and he's almost out of sight. I have to hurry to catch up to him and give him back his wallet. He barely even says, thank
I
you.
should have just kept the whole thing.
Hehe. It's only fair that I get a little something for myself, since it's not like he would have gotten it back without me. Ooh! I head back to my bench and inspect my prize. A blue bill and a brown one. These feel sturdy, nothing like the paper I expected.
1, 0, 10, and 5. So 15.
Ooh, mathematician! 15 isn't much. I definitely should have kept the whole wallet. Oh well, at least this should be enough to buy myself something to drink. My thirst is starting to get the better of me, as I haven't had anything since I snuck onto the airship. Following my nose, I walk down the busy street until I find one of many cafes lining the path. The sign hanging above its front door has a picture of a bell on it. Err. The artwork for the backgrounds are so pretty. A charming little chime rings out from above the door as I enter. I can't help but savor the wave of refreshing cool air washing over me, which is all the better after so much running.
Hiya! Welcome to the Bell House.
Hello! Kawaii! The barista behind the counter is the only other person in the store right now, as I nod in greeting, and she leans forward with a cup in one hand and a pen in her other.
What can I get you? We're having a special on
It feels so
affogatos if you
lo-fi.
want to try one. Usually, they're like $7, but today, they're only 5.
Ooh!
I'd like a...
Ooh! I'm not sure what an affogato is. Affogato is so good! Isn't that a vegetable? Not wanting to commit a strange sounding drink, I took a look at the menu instead. Unfortunately, it's full of handwritten, spindly letters. I can't read a single word. And there are no helpful pictures. Safe option it is.
I'll just have a vanilla latte. Ugh, boring. But okay. Name? Mio.
You should try an affogato. It's nice. Oh, but I don't think you should be drinking coffee. It's my first time testing how that name sounds, and I decided that I like it. Oh, so she just invented the name. I decided on the airship that was the name I would use here in Wellington. I've used so many names throughout my life that I can't remember most of them. For each new city that I visit, I come up with something new. Foxes don't have any use for names, so nobody ever gave me one. She scribbled something on the cup with a black marker. If that's how this name looks, then I'm even more pleased with it.
450, please.
I hand her the brown bill and she gives me back a big coin with a picture of a boat on it.
Alright. I'll have this ready for you in no time.
Arigatou gozaimasu. She sure seems enthusiastic. I nod as she spins around and starts working, looking about somewhere to sit. I decide on a seat by the window with the sun pouring in. Which window? Near the entrance of the cafe. Oh, there's a wire rack with a stack of maps and tourist pamphlets, so I grab one of the maps before taking my seat. This cafe is big and bright, with plants everywhere. They're on the walls, on the floor, and on the ceiling. Most of them are real and vibrant, obviously being well cared for. Even the lights that hang down from the ceiling have glass ornaments with little shrubs inside. Miho, that's called a terrarium. Seems like I made a good choice coming here. Any place with a bit of nature in it is more comfortable to me than places without.
I guess I should find a place to stay.
Stay with me. Looking down at the map I took, I traced the path I made from the port to this cafe. It's useful, but it doesn't really tell me anything helpful about the houses in particular. Maybe there's like an opening that you can pour the water in. I'll need to find a higher vantage point. I move my fingers along the hills. I notice from outside, following the little brown path to a patch of green with a little mountain icon. That should work for now.
Miho!
Miho! My ears perk up right as the barista arrives and places my drink in front of me.
Thanks!
Thanks! I reach over and take the warm cup in my hand, but the barista doesn't let go.
You ready for the rain tomorrow?
Eh?
Huh? It's gonna rain tomorrow.
I glance behind me out the window. It's been as sunny as a blue day as I've ever seen. You're a fox. You should
how do
know
you
how
know
this go.
There aren't
You've
any
been living
clouds out
for
there.
years, girl.
I'm just good with the weather. Anyway, if you forget,
We never
I'll
know.
be sorry.
I mean, because of visual and like comic media, I know now that whenever it's like a good day out, a storm is about to follow. Because that's how the wise people usually react when they see that it's bright and sunny and not much clouds out. They go brooding and like, it's gonna rain soon, a storm is coming, and all that. People are weird. Does the barista pull that on everyone? Where did the music go? Standing on the doorstep, I have my first sip.
Oh, this is really good.
It's pretty plain, but well made. The coffee isn't too bitter, which is perfect for me. With a moment to myself, my thoughts turn inwards as I sip the warm drink. My first travels were in search of someone, but despite my whole being spent trying, excuse me, I haven't made any progress in finding them. So I've taken to simply wandering, going wherever I wish at that time. I feel like they're not in the world anymore. Where's the audio? I'd been itching for a change of scenery anyway, so I boarded. Well, snuck onto the first airship that I could. the best part about owning nothing but the clothes on my back is that I can pick up and leave whenever I feel like it. A nomad. I take a moment to get my bearings and look around. I see a tired-looking person shuffling along the far footpath with a briefcase in their hand. They stop outside one of the buildings, take a deep breath, and pat their face a couple of times, then go inside. I'm not sure. Maybe. They must not be looking forward to whatever is going to happen in there. Maybe they have to fight someone. Through the large glass windows of another store, a fawn is trying on a pair of shoes, but they don't seem to fit her hooves. Oh, so there's like fantasy characters here aside from Miho. I'm guessing she's Miho because Gumiho, that's the nine-tailed fox. Or I mean, seven-tailed fox in this instance. The people waiting with her looked annoyed. I wonder if she fusses around with her footwear a lot. Maybe. For a while, I simply let the day roll by and watch the various figures stroll by. Oh, I messed up one sentence. Oh well. Eventually, I got to sip my coffee, only to find nothing coming out. With no more reason to stick around, it's time to go. On the sunlit street, I look about to match what I can see with the map's directions. There's a tall green mountain in the distance ahead of me, which must be the one on the map. It'll be the perfect vantage point for the city. Ideally, I'll find an empty building I can crash in, but it's not necessary. A roof over my head would be nice, but I'm plenty used to sleeping outside under the stars. Sometimes it's better than sleeping in a bed. Encouraged by my plan forming in my head, I set off on the long walk to the summit. There we go, we have music again. The path to the mountain turns out to be less simple than the map made it look. First, a trail takes me along the waterfront, and then it turns upwards through a small forested area. Being among the trees and their tall shadows make me feel at home. When the path leaves the woods again, I'm a little disappointed. It leads up a paved road, so I stick to the edge to avoid passing cars. Sometimes I take shortcuts through yards or up unmarked paths. There are quite a few nice-looking homes right along the roadside. I make a mental note to go check them out when I'm low on money or food. Not much further along, a concrete lookout offers another glimpse of the city below. A couple airships are coming into dock at the skyport. This fox is a criminal. Probably from one of the other floating islands. Oh, are you from a floating? There's still a ways to go to the top of the mountain, but luckily the walk has been easy so far. I wouldn't even consider it a hike. Eventually, I reach the final stretch of the road. I can see where it curves ahead to the summit, and I hurry to the end. A metal railing. A metal railing spreads out like a crown on top of the mountain. As I go toss my empty cup away, a pair of chatting tourists pass me by.
How far is it from here?
Oh, about an hour from the base of Mount Victoria, so a bit further from here.
Ooh.
Mount Victoria.
I'm glad to know what this place is called. I say the name out loud to help commit it to memory. Standing at the edge, I'm treated to a wonderful view of Wellington. The city forms a crescent moon shape around the bay, which glitters like a sapphire from up here. The sun is starting to set, and that makes the water even more shimmery. Even more airships can be seen coming and going. I think that I can even see the edge of the floating islands we're on. Oh, New Zealand is floating! Every island is floating? Miles out in the open sky. I surveyed, but there's an ocean. Oh well. I surveyed the city using the skyport as a reference point. From up here, speaking of airships, suddenly remembered the Professor Layton new game. Oh my god, I'm so excited! Professor Layton and the new world of Steam! Let's go! Anyway, from up here, what felt like such a long chase really doesn't look far at all. If I strain my eyes, I think I can even see the coffee shop from earlier. What was it the barista said it was called? The Bell House? It's kind of tough to make out details. My hearing and sense of smell may be great, but my eyes aren't that much better than a human's. I noticed something useful. Then I noticed something useful. Oh.
Probably. What can you see from here?
I see Dad's car!
This kid is so excited. Not too far away, there's a little kid who's using a pair of metal tubes attached to the post. His mom is helping him aim it at the city. It must be something that improves your vision. The moment the kid and his mom leave, I hurry over before someone else can get them first. When I press my eyes to the same spot the child did, though all I can see is black. I try moving it around, but it doesn't change. You need to put in your coin, I think. Is this thing busted? Some text is printed on the side. I have no idea what it says. There's a small slot though, with a picture of a coin next to it. Put it in! Lucky for me, it's the coin that has a 50 on it. But she's been traveling everywhere. How come she doesn't know these things? I put the coin that I received from the barista into the slot and spin a lever. The machine eats my coin, and then when I put my eyes to it again...
Yes!
She's been traveling though. I mean, different islands probably have different scripts, but still. Everything looks much closer now. Even the trees on the other side of the hill appear in crystal clear detail, like I'm standing right next to them. I aim the viewing glasses at the city and look around trying to find a good place to rest for the night. I'm wondering if this is like a literal image that has a filter over it, or like reference image and then the artist painstakingly recreated this. Anyway, it looks very nice. Houses are a no-go. Even if they look empty or abandoned, you can never let your guard down for a minute. Same with most shops. I don't even have enough money for a hotel, and I won't risk sneaking into one of those either. As I'm studying the sights, trying to memorize as much as I can, there's a clicking sound and once again, the view goes black. Stupid machine. Hey, don't talk bad about Transformers. I smack it a couple of times and check again, but I still can't see anything.
Well, whatever.
Wait a moment, let me drink water. I'm big. While the image is fresh in my mind, I sit down at the nearby bench and pull out a pencil and some crumpled papers from my pocket. I always carry a few with me. I sort through them until I find one that's still blank. Using my knee as a table, I sketch out the view before me. The trees, the curve of the bay, the buildings far below. You never know what information will be useful later. I add more detail to my drawing of the bigger, more important buildings. Others are just represented with small, rough squares. Oh, I wonder how good her drawing is. The view is pretty, that's for sure. It didn't really help much though. Once I'm confident I've jotted down everything I need to, I carefully fold the paper and put it back to my pocket.
Looks like I'm sleeping outside tonight. Guess this place is as good as any.
Alright. I head back down the trail a little bit and veer off it into the underbush. Where am I going next? Over here?
Not perfect, but
Excuse
it'll
me.
do.
It's not exactly the wilderness, but just about everything around here seems cityfied to some extent. Usually, when I make a den, I prefer to find a place far from other people. A place where nobody will find me. I doubt I'll find anything perfect, but this is good enough.
It's fine. Can't afford to be picky.
Beggars can't be choosers after all. Usually when I make it, I thought that was a new dialogue. Once the trail I was on is out of sight, I transform again. My neck gets warmer as my beads activate, and a few seconds later, I'm on all fours. As I fox, the sensations of nature are much stronger. The earth beneath my paws is cool and refreshing, and the breeze whips through my fur like a massage. I hurry down a hill covered in grass, so tall that it reaches way over my head. I can smell fresh water and follow the scent to a small stream where I'm able to quench my thirst. It's just as satisfying as the drink I got at the cafe, but in a different way. And being able to slurp up water is way more enjoyable than having to use a straw, or worse, one of those lids with the tiny holes. For a little while, I follow my nose to some berries and some edible plants. That'll do for a snack. Unfortunately, unlike the water, foraging is never as satisfying as eating human food. If I want a real meal tonight, then I should pick up the pace before it gets too late. Still, I want to get this done now, while there's still daylight. I keep close to the stream and search for a place where the ground is soft. Before too long, I find a promising area, a small valley with hills on most sides and thick foliage on the others. I'm still close enough to civilization to hear cars and other city noise, but the area I'm in doesn't seem like it gets visited very often. At the very least, it doesn't really smell like people. The spot that I settle on is a nice mound of earth near the edge of the woods, partially hidden by a tall tree with low-hanging leaves. Even if no one comes by, it makes me feel better knowing that I'll be out of sight. And so I start to dig. My claws rip away the dirt as I burrow downwards, widening the tunnel just enough for my sleek frame to fit in. First I dig forward and then downwards, widening out an area that's big enough for my whole body to fit. This is something I've been doing my whole life, even back when I was just a regular fox. I think that's why I don't mind it too much compared to sleeping inside somewhere. It just feels right to me. Ooh, wow. This is a pretty big hole that you dug. You're very strong, I guess. It takes a little while, and by the time I'm finally finished, the few stars have started to peek out from the sky. I shake myself clean off the dirt that sticks to my coat and then transform back into my human form.
Spread this here, couple of branches here, some leaves there.
I walk around the valley a bit, checking from different angles.
Not bad for just an afternoon's work.
Otsukare! If you weren't looking for it, I don't think you'd ever notice anything out of place. All the digging has made me work up an appetite, and not the kind that I'll be satisfied with just a few berries.
Oh, I'm so hungry. I haven't had a real meal since yesterday.
I'm craving McDonald's actually. McDonald's. Maybe I'll order delivery tomorrow. Who knows? I still have some food supplies and I should not spend unnecessarily. My stomach rumbles painfully. I've been so busy since arriving here in Wellington that I kind of forgot just how hungry I was. Sunday? Sure, if I have extra budget and if I do order. I'll grab some human food back in town. Casting one last glance at my afternoon's work, I set off towards the city.
Work never ends. Time to get some food!
Ikimashou! I'm a bit disappointed when I finally get back to the busy street from before. I was hoping that it would be emptier now, and that all of the stores would be closed. Turns out, I was half right. A lot of the shops have gone dark for the evening, but there are just as many people walking around now as there were earlier. In fact, there might even be more. The patio of a restaurant has a bunch of tables full. A mermaid is sitting in the fountain I sat by earlier, chatting with a cyclops. Oh, sir, fantasy characters are in here. Even the cafe that I visited is crowded now, with a line almost out the door. After pacing up and down the road for a while, I sit down and try to figure out what to do next. I'm not too worried about what would happen if I got caught stealing. I'd just escape, obviously, and even if they somehow managed to catch me, it wouldn't be an issue for very long. See, there's something different about me that makes me extra good at being a thief. It's not just the skills I've practiced over the years. Si swiper ka ba? Like picking locks and sneaking around. Yeah, I also thought, like, she's the only special character, but yeah. No, it's a bit more special than that. Without fail, every single person I meet forgets about me by the next day. I don't know why, but I don't really care either. It's magic, that's all I know about it. Really useful magic. Everywhere I go, no matter how careless I am, all of my problems are solved by the next day. That doesn't mean there's no danger. I've been caught in the act before and beaten or harassed before I can manage to get away. I've even lost a few prizes that I stole fair and square because I had to get going in a hurry. But if someone sees me but isn't able to stop me, I know that I'll be home free. Sure, they might remember having something stolen, but they'll never know who did it. It almost makes things too easy. Right now, it would be smarter to just come back even later, in the dead of the night, and hope that there are no people around. I'd be able to take my time browsing without having to worry about making a quick escape. Where's the fun in that, though? I walk casually up and down the streets, glancing into windows without being obvious about it. Some stores still have customers inside. Others have locked their doors and shut off their lights. Most of the restaurants are still open and are only making me hungrier. Stealing from restaurants is a bit much even for me though. I've tried it before, but the cluttered kitchens, as well as the tables and chairs, make it hard to get around. Plus, I've learned the hard way that there are plenty of hot and sharp things for angry cooks to throw at you as you try to make your way out. Instead, packaged and pre-made foods are my best friends. Things that I can grab multiples of at once and stuff into my pockets. If I'm really lucky, I'll find a place with refrigerated sandwiches or salads. Corn beanies! I'm telling her where to go. I shouldn't. Do not steal, that's bad. Or sometimes, perfectly good hot food that gets thrown out. You would not believe us. The kind of stuff that's available if you don't mind sifting through the trash a little bit. It's not perfect, of course, but a hot meal is a hot meal. I know plenty of foxes who've eaten much worse.
Target spotted.
Who are you spotting? Oh, ha, you are in a conveni. It's perfect, a small convenience store. Snacks lined up behind the front window. Even better, the stores on either side of it are closed too, so there's not many people in the area. Why is a convenience store closed?
Surprising.
Ah. I head down a nearby alley and find the back door, which is probably where they bring in new products. The alleyway is dark to begin with, and my dark clothes help me hide even better. I glance around the alley, glad like always for my excellent night vision. Nobody's watching. Nobody's even around. I pull up my hood over my ears and tuck my tail between my legs, leaning against the sturdy door. To anyone not looking closely, I'm sure I appear as nothing more than a shadow. I dig around my pockets until I find my trusty lockpick, and then set to work on the door. It isn't a complicated lock at all, just a regular keyhole. With a click, the latch springs open with just a few short moments.
Bingo.
Huh? Uh-oh. I tug the door towards me, but there's a chain on the inside that keeps it from opening very wide. There's no way a human could fit through the gap, but it would be easy for a fox. First, I slink away for a bit, idling on the nearby street like a regular pedestrian. I wait to see if anyone shows up, just in case I triggered a silent security system. After about 10 minutes, I decided it's safe. I transform under covers of darkness in the alley and slip into the building before transforming back. The shop isn't very big, and the receiving area is just a small hallway with a few boxes of soda and candy bars on the floor. I grab a couple of my favorites and shove them into my pockets. When I creep into the main area, I make sure to lay low to the ground, trying to avoid being seen from outside. I'm not exactly hidden, but as long as I don't stand up, I shouldn't attract anyone's attention. I move fast, cramming as much into my coat as I can. Cookies, protein bars, popcorn. I'm not very picky. When my coat starts to feel pretty heavy, I grab a plastic bag from behind the counter and transfer some of my loot into there as I take a few bottles of water, and sports drinks from the coolers. Just as I'm about to leave, I spot a few of those coveted plastic wrap sandwiches that I was thinking about earlier.
Jackpot!
I'm craving for, what was that? The one in Family Mart, the katsu sandwich, I think. It's been a while. I fill my bag with sandwiches until it's almost overflowing, and then I head back out the way I came in. In total, I was in and out under 5 minutes, and I've got enough supply to last me for days. Oh, you don't have a fridge though, so they might go bad, like the sandwiches. I step into the alley. I glance around in both directions, making sure no one saw me emerge from the store. I don't see anyone, but my neck prickles as if someone is watching me. I sniff the air, but don't notice anything out of the ordinary. Nothing that wasn't there before. Still, uh-oh! Suddenly, there's a flap of wings, and a bat flutters past me from out of the shadows. It goes right over my head and disappears from my side of the street. Sabagay, they're a fox. They probably don't get stomach aches from spoiled food as easy as humans.
Oh, that's it?
That bat must not be an ordinary bat. I let out a breath I'd been holding. I let out the breath I'd been holding and start making my way towards the mountain where I made my den. I let my bag swing from my arm as I walked, whistling a song I heard earlier. I'm not able to keep a smile off my face.
All in all, not a bad first day. I've got a nice nest, food to spare, and plenty of places to explore tomorrow.
Earlier, I watched a video. I don't know if you guys know the channel called Cinema Therapy, but therapy, blah blah blah. Anyway, their latest video is about Captain Jack Sparrow and how he can probably be diagnosed with antisocial disorder. And I'm seeing similarities with Miho and Jack Sparrow, because from what I remember, some traits of an antisocial person is someone with disregard for like the consequences of their actions and like lacking sympathy for the things they've done and just doing things that benefit them, not caring about the law and all that stuff. So I don't know if it's a coincidence, but Miho, girl, I know you're not part of the society, but yeah. Because unusually the therapist there said that you'd often think a villain will have those kinds of traits because they are villainous, but in the video, since Jack Sparrow isn't necessarily bad or good, he's more like an anti-hero. That's why he has, you know, not so good traits, but also he does things, but it's not always for the good thing. It's more for like his own benefits. And his reason is because he's a pirate and blah blah blah. But yeah, continuing the story we're reading. There have been plenty of days in my life where I had none of these things. I unwrapped one of the sandwiches I grabbed. Dapat ano, I hope she got herself some drinks. It's nice to eat a sandwich, like convenience store sandwich, and have a milk drink, either a plain milk drink or a flavored milk drink. It's very nice. At least that's how I like to consume my convenience store sandwiches. I grab and take a big bite.
Nothing beats the taste of hard work.
I don't know. It just feels like hearty. It feels like mas nakakabusog if it's milk and then bread over, I don't know, juice or sodas or plain water. Like it's just the right, because usually the konbini sandwiches are savory, are filled with savory fillings, like, you know, the katsus and ham and cheese and stuff with milk, since it's either plain or flavored, it's kind of sweet. So it kind of balances out things. It's like your dessert already if you don't have candies or snack bars and stuff. I hope Wellington continues to treat me well while I'm here. But you're not treating Wellington well. You've committed how many crimes already? You stole, you sneaked past through immigration, you stole again. You trespass through properties. Girl.
So tired.
Are you proud of yourself?
I'm gonna sleep so well tonight.
Ay nako, kamag-anak mo talaga si Swiper. I unpacked everything that I got from the store, as well as the treasures that I always carry with me. My lockpick, my wallet, and a few pretty stones. The only thing that I leave in my jacket is a small scroll.
Can't get that damaged or dirty.
Oh. I change back into a fox and then dig another hole near the entrance to my den. Like in real life or in the game? Cause... Oh, okay. It's probably gonna rain and then her den's gonna get filled with water and then she'll have to find someplace else to stay, and then we'll meet our other characters. Hopefully the demo ends like after we meet some other characters, because it's kind of lonely just seeing Miho and the barista. This one is much shallower. And I bury some of the snacks that I stole before covering them back up with dirt. Miho the
Not
crook.
like anyone's gonna come by and swipe my things, but better safe than sorry.
Sure. Add some grass to it, like for camouflage.
I stole this myself after all.
Girl, why are you proud? You're crook.
Don't want it being stolen from me.
You're a hypocrite. Stuff like my pen and my favorite rock go into the burrow with me, since I like having them close by. Once I've got everything where it belongs, I climb into the hole myself, turning a few circles before settling down with my tail wrapped around me. From here, I have a perfect view of the stars. This is nice. This looks like it could be a book cover for like a fable. Fables are stories with animals form characters, right? I don't remember my literature anymore. From here, I have perfect view of the stars. I look up at the clear night sky through the mouth of the tunnel. I feel bad for all the people way down the underworld. Okay. There's an underworld, so there are sky islands and an underworld.
Can they even see the stars from there?
Who knows? I've never been to the underworld, so I have no idea. I can't imagine falling asleep without them. Comfortable and safe, I close my eyes and quickly slip off to dreamland. I wake up to trouble, or at least a threat. And it's raining! I'm sure it's only morning as I peer down the burrow's entrance, but the sky is already dark and foreboding. My attention moves from the ominous rain clouds above the tree to the trees outside my den. Their branches shaking in the strong breeze.
I can't believe that girl from the cafe was right.
That's what you get. I climb up the tunnel and out into the open, sniffing the air. It just tells me what I already know. A storm is coming, and fast. But also, another scent plays on my nose. One so faint that I almost brush it off before taking another smell. Surely I'm wrong. There's no way that... Lowering my snout to the ground, I investigate the area. And then I decide that I'm right. I change into my human form and look around.
Someone's been here.
Uh-oh! Yes, someone's definitely been here. But this scent isn't a human's. It's vaguely familiar, but at the same time, not like anything I recognize.
And it definitely wasn't here when I went to sleep.
Ooh. They must have come here in the night and stopped right outside my den.
Were they watching me sleep?
That's creepy.
Oh crap!
That's suspicious. As a fox, I dive back into my hole and make sure everything is still there. My heart pounds in my chest, but nothing appears to be missing. I also checked the spot where I buried my stash from last night, but that hasn't been disturbed either. I breathe a sigh of relief. If any of my stuff had been stolen, I'd be so mad. But that still doesn't answer the question of what they did want. And that's even more concerning. I'm a pretty light sleeper, and usually the slightest sound or motion will wake me up. Wake me up inside. So if someone was able to sneak up on me and wait, so if someone was able to sneak up on me, even I have to be impressed. Impressed and a little worried. I've got a more pressing issue right now though, and I stare up the sky in disappointment.
Ugh, I hate the rain.
Ah, I would have found a different place to make my nest and hide my supplies if I'd known this would happen. Instead, both burrows will probably be piles of mud by the end of the day.
I should have found a place with a roof after all.
Hehe. I fill my pockets with my most important possessions and some of the food I grabbed last night. Everything else I wrapped as tightly in the plastic bags as I can and bury them in my den. Why would you bury them if you're gonna move somewhere else? Oh my god, you should just carry them with you. Hopefully I can find somewhere fast and then move everything else over before it gets ruined. An abandoned house would be perfect. Or some other place where I'd be able to hide. Oh! Can I don't have a way to check past conversations? Dialogues? This one is even bigger than the one I saw last night. Its wings are way longer and noisier. I can even hear it squeaking something as it flies. Some people say bats and foxes are similar. I don't see it. I don't see it. I watch it fly around for a little while before it takes off towards the city. Let me
Maybe
drink
it
some
knows
water
somewhere to
again.
stay. Guess I'll follow it for now.
Ha! A couple times it disappears between the trees or just too far ahead, but I always manage to catch back up. Eventually we're out of the woods and back into civilization, where a car whizzes right past me. There's a sidewalk here, and other people walking around. Most of them look up the sky nervously though, and everyone seems to be in a hurry.
Guess I'm not the only one looking to get away from the rain.
More people seem to be going in the direction I was headed than anywhere else, so I stick to that. By now, my winged guide is almost out of sight again. Just a little black speck in the sky flying into the distance. Further up this road, there's a slope that leads to a big fancy looking building. It doesn't look like a shop or a restaurant, at least not one that I've ever seen, but there are so many people going in and out that it has to be open to the public. That's good enough for me. It'll give me somewhere dry to spend some time. And maybe I can learn something useful. Plus, Places like this usually have plenty of valuables inside. If I'm lucky, I might be able to find something to fund my next few days. After all, the bigger the target is, the less likely they're noticed something's missing. The sturdy oak door isn't as heavy as it looks, a firm push being enough to heave it open. Gingerly stepping inside and out of the rain, I'm greeted by books. Lots of books. Ooh! Books on shelves, books on tables, books on the floor, books everywhere. The place is the place even smells of musty old paper, and the dozen or so people inside are mostly leafing through pages in the aisles. The odd silence about the building is striking, given how many are around. It doesn't look like a shop, so I assume this must be a library. I've heard of them, but I've never been in one. No point, since I can't read at all. But it's warm and cozy, and very dry, so it'll do just fine. There's a desk near the entrance, with a computer on it that I assume would be where I check in. It's unattended, which is good for me. I take a seat in an empty chair nearby, and sit back to observe for a bit. There are plenty of people, but it's not too busy. Lots of empty, unwatched spaces. Most folks seem to be here alone, or in small groups that keep to themselves. There's not much conversation going on, and what there is all whispered. Nobody gives me a second glance, which is a good sign. It means I'm probably not breaking any rules just by being here. Behind the desk, there's a hallway leading deeper into the building, and I peek around the corner to see what's back there. Hello! Yeah, it looks like a Final Fantasy character. Like, what was that? I forgot what they're called. But hello! Welcome to the stream. All I can see are some shut doors, and at the very back, a staircase. Hee. After glancing around to make sure no one's watching, I sneak down the hall and try a couple of doors. Hello, greetings! All of them are locked. I could probably pick them if I wanted to. No sense trying to do that now, though. Is there anything more valuable around? An antique clock or vase would be perfect. Sadly, it's almost all books. Books and small trinkets that look pretty worthless. Not even worth the trouble of stealing. At least, it's got a roof. I do spot a couple promising items, like a set of old coins, and memorize their locations. I wander back to the main area where I came in. Outside, it hasn't started raining yet, but it's only a matter of time. The wind is loud and gusty, and even opening the door is enough to make me shiver. If nothing else, I can probably wait out the rain here. But, my poor abandoned snacks back at the den. What a waste. That's why I told you should have carried your plastic bag. Can't do anything about it now, though. I should keep looking around. Sayang yung konbini sandwiches. Don't you know they are good? I move slowly through the area, never going beyond what seems to be the public area. I pretend to inspect a few books, taking them off the shelves and flipping through the pages, but I'm actually mapping out the place in my head. Doors, windows, and potential places to hide, things like that. Most of the time, this kind of info is unnecessary. It's been at least a few decades since I've had to make a dramatic escape from anywhere. See? It's been decades, but you still... Well, I guess because you don't really care for societal norms, but girl, you should know some of these things already. Where have you been? Where have you been going? Anyway, at this point, plotting an escape route is just a habit. Overall, I like what I'm seeing. Even with the doors locked and off-limits hallways, there are a lot of nooks and crannies that would make good hiding spots, especially as a fox. From the thick dust that coats a lot of these areas, I can tell they don't get a whole lot of visitors. If I'm careful, I might be able to go a whole week or more without being noticed. As long as I can get in and out of the building easily, that is. And with the huge windows that line the back wall, that seems easy enough too. I weave around a couple shelves that are taller than I am. Heading for the far back corner, I peer through the corner of the last aisle just to make sure that I'm alone. But I'm not. Oh, she's so pretty! I saw her in the box arts and stuff. I think her name is Aspen, but we'll see. At the small table by the window sits a woman with a small book in her hand, resting against her fingers. She is perfectly still, but mouths the words on the pages as she reads. She's like tasting them instead of just seeing them. Her expression has this distant look of someone way off in their own world, far away from this one. She looks so at peace that I think she might belong in that other world. What if she's part of the Fate lore? Everything remotely Fate is canon to Fate lore, right? She's beautiful and elegant in the same way as a painting, with the light from the window shining on her like a display. I duck back behind the bookshelf, pressing one hand to my racing heart. My other bumps against one of the books on the shelf and it falls with a dusty thump. Ooh, are you in love? She's so pretty! Cursing my clumsiness, I silently back away, in case she decides to investigate. But she doesn't leave her chair.
I suppose it's nothing.
Oh, I really love her accent! I heard this sample voice earlier. She turns and gazes out the open window. At what? I don't know. A moment later, she returns to her book and leaves this world again. I stay hidden, my face still burning a little bit. Yes, I think this will be a perfect place to spend some time. Oh! Suddenly, there's a much louder boom than the one I caused. A thunder rumbles outside. A few people around the library startle at the sound and look around. Sighing, the girl in the chair pulls the window beside her close. The first drops of rain falling, not a minute later. I'll investigate the windows later. Right now, I don't want to bother her. So, I head back to one of the plush chairs on the other side of the library and take a seat. I could be here a while, depending on how long the rain lasts, so I may as well get comfy. I feel bad for the burrow, cause like, if you're not getting back your items anymore, then you're technically ruining nature. Plastic is bad for nature, girl. I find a few books that have more pictures than words and curl up in one of the soft chairs to flip through them. There aren't as many of those ones, and I go through the stack pretty fast. It takes long enough for the rain to start though. The longer I read, the louder the pounding of the rain and the howling of the wind become. Guess it's not letting up anytime soon. I can't complain though. This library is pretty cozy by my usual standards. It's warm and safe and nobody tells me to go away. I even have snacks. More than once, I get up and walk around the library again, even though I've got most of it memorized by now. I take note of things like a child's stuffed toy that's lying on the floor in one section, or the thin blanket that's stuffed between a bookshelf and a wall. On my third and fourth trip around, I finally find something I'd been looking for. Wow, this is a pretty painting. No, don't go away. Stay there. Go down. In one of the far corners, totally opposite from where I saw the reading girl earlier, there's a single chair and a small table. On the wall nearby is a portrait. The painting itself is of a girl with light brown hair, but I barely pay attention to that. What I'm interested in is the frame. There we go. That's a pretty nice painting. And a very extravagant frame. It's lovely. It looks like it might be made out of gold. It certainly shines like it. It's carved intricately into the shape of waves, flowing up and down. Oh, is that it? I guess they are waves. I thought it's like, leaves. Anyway, it's gotta be worth something. I pretend not to pay much attention to it as I make my way back to my table. There are too many other people around for me to be able to try and sneak it out. It's too big to fit under my jacket without being obvious. That just means I'll have to come back some other time. Maybe once this place is closed. The hours pass by and the storm continues. I'm kind of disappointed about losing a whole day, especially so soon after arriving. That's what you call karma, girl. Kinakarma ka. But it's not like I'm in any sort of a hurry. I pat one of my pockets, feeling the familiar and reassuring weight of the paper scroll that's tucked away there. That scroll is the only thing close to a purpose that I have, and it's not particularly urgent. Or at least, I don't have any way to deal with it faster. I spend a long time reading. It's almost afternoon when I go back and check the windows again, but the rough weather outside continues. At this rate, I'll be sleeping in a puddle of mud tonight, unless... A quick check shows that a lot of the other library patrons have left. It's not empty, but it's not nearly as full as earlier. Guess some of them decided it was worth braving the rain. Looking as nonchalant as I can, I get up from my seat and pretend to browse again, slowly moving through the shelves. The reading girl is gone now, although she's not what I was looking for. Instead, I pick up the drop toy and blanket that I spotted earlier, and then I head to one of the out-of-the-way hiding spots I picked out before. It's on the floor, between a shelf and the wall, but has a bit of carpet to help make it softer. Even better, it's between two corner shelves, meaning that it's practically out of sight if you're not looking for it. I wriggle my way between the furniture and lie down, using the toy as a pillow and draping the blanket over me. I toss and turn a few times before finally settling down.
Yep, not bad at all.
Hey! Even though I haven't done much today, I'm always down to take a nap. I can pass a few hours by sleeping, wake up once it's dark, and then grab that picture frame and be on my way. I'll have to rebuild my den once I get back, but that's not a problem for future me. I yawn, staring up the ceiling until my eyes get heavy.
Maybe today won't be a total waste after all.
Oh! What happened? The sound of soft cloth rustling wakes me up from my dreamless sleep. How did someone sneak up on me twice now? I don't know how long it's been. The sky outside has darkened significantly, and now stars twinkle outside the window. Oh, a new girl! Let's go! Let's go! There's no time to react as the sound comes closer. I hear no footsteps, but suddenly a woman steps into view. Her clothes are pure white, making her stand out like a ghost in the dark library. Her cape rustles again as she reaches towards one of the shelves. One of the shelves I'm hiding behind, to be precise. Gingerly, she moves 2 books to the side and then slides another book into the space she created. She handles them like precious treasures that might break if she's too rough. I stay perfectly still, afraid to even breathe in case she notices me. Ooh, look at that! She's so kawaii! My heart beats wildly as she slowly and deliberately looks over the shelf, examining their titles before taking a book from the second lowest row. That's not the second lowest row? Through the gap she creates in the shelves, our eyes meet in the darkness. Oh no, yabe! I tense up as she steps around the shelving between us to get a better look at me, preparing myself to leap away if the need arises. The carefully memorized layout of the library flashes through my mind as I frantically plot the best way to flee. Even as I prepare my escape, I can hear her taking in everything about me. The stolen blanket, the makeshift pillow, my generally disheveled appearance. I wonder if she stinks, because she hasn't bathed in like 2 days. And she's been like out in the forest, filled with dirt, running around and stuff. She opens her mouth, and I brace myself for the verbal attack that's sure to come.
Hello there.
Oh, wow, mommy? Sorry, mommy? Your voice. Oh, wow.
May I ask why you're sleeping on the floor?
There's a voice, mommy. Oh my god. It doesn't matter what I say. Just distract her enough to get away.
I don't have anywhere else to sleep.
I thought so.
Ah. She leans down and offers her hand. I look at it warily. I don't take it, but I slowly stand, letting the blanket fall to my feet and trying to subtly get in position to run.
Well, I have an extra room on the second floor that you're welcome to borrow, if you'd prefer that.
She reminds me of the captain in Treasure Planet, like Disney's Treasure Planet. I forgot the captain's name, but I don't know, the voice and the design is kind of giving the same vibe.
Otherwise, you're more than welcome to remain here, on the ground. I apologize for waking you.
Oh no, I'm very glad to be awakened by you. With a smile, the oddly calm woman steps away and busies herself organizing another row of books. She probably expects me to let my guard down and take her offer. I'm just a stranger, someone who broke into her library. There's no reason for her to treat me kindly. My years of experience, and there are plenty of those, tell me it's a trap.
Thanks, but no thanks. I'll just be going actually. Sorry to bother you like this.
No, stay with her. Nar! I hurry past her, shoulders tense as I expect her to grab me or try to stop me. She doesn't though. Aw, she looks sad. The one time I glance back, she's watching me with a strange expression expression that I don't recognize. When I get outside and away from the library, I breathe a sigh of relief.
Whew, that was close. I'm not falling for that one again.
Oh, you got trust issues. The last time I let someone feel sorry for me and accepted a place to stay, I woke up to them trying to empty my wallet. I mean, you don't really have the right to feel that way, because, you know, that's what you do too. I do it honestly? Girl. That wasn't the first time someone tried to fool me and take advantage of me either.
Still, it's a shame to lose such a nice hiding place. Maybe I'll give it a couple days for that woman to forget about me, and then try again. If she wasn't lying about there being an empty room on the second floor, then maybe I could sneak into there.
Tonight, though, I'm on my own, shivering. I wrap my coat and tail tightly around myself as I think about what to do next. The rain has stopped, although it's still cold and cloudy. My stomach grumbles, since I haven't eaten anything other than snacks all day.
Ugh.
I may as well get it over with and go check on the status of my den.
Well, it could be worse.
Check out your stuff, girl. It's not as bad as I expected, which is a pleasant surprise.
What's a little mine? It'll be just fine.
I swap to my fox form and prod around. The entrance has caved in a little, but after I scoop that out, I find that the rest of the tunnel and main room are relatively intact. Cold as hell, but intact. Seems the trees protected the den from a lot of the rain. It takes me a while to find the spot where I buried my stash, since the stick I used to mark the spot got washed away. Eventually I locate it though and start digging. The cold mud makes my paws dirty and sore, and little flecks cover my fur. After I finally reach the soggy plastic bags, I shake myself clean before opening them as a human. Some water has seeped through, and I open the spoiled items before tossing them away. You're... Nagkakalat ka te. But I have plenty of other snacks to choose from.
Eat up, birdies!
A few of them swoop down to inspect the offer. I scarf down a quick meal of cookies and unwarmed soup, along with some cold water from the stream. At least the water is satisfying. Is the stream not muddy? Oh well. Then, even though I just woke up from a nap not too long ago, I shift back into my fox form and crawl into my den and curl up. I'm sure it'll be a while before I fall back asleep, but I don't feel like going back into town. I've had enough excitement for one day. This isn't all that bad. Regular foxes without magic powers have it way worse than I do. Although, back when I was a fox was all I was, I wouldn't have really cared. To this day, I'm not sure what it is that makes me different. I used to be just like them. No desire to go beyond the forest or anything. But one day, I became whatever I am now. All I had was my necklace, a small scroll that I can't read, and the memory of the person who had given it to me. They were so kind to me, that stranger in the forest. They wished me well, even though I was just an ordinary fox. Somehow, that didn't seem to matter to them. I never even knew their name. just their face and their voice. But I know that I'll recognize them when I see them again. It's just as a matter of finding them. So since then, I've been looking and surviving. Looking for them is what keeps me going. It's enough to live for. If I wasn't, I don't know what else I'd be doing. I guess I'd just be surviving. But if that was the only thing, I think I'd rather have just stayed a fox. It's day 3, here in Wellington. Standing outside my den in human form, I take stock of how things stand. The sun's thankfully out this morning. Excuse me. But everything remains damp, from the ground to the muggy air itself. The chill on the breeze is the worst, making me shiver every time it hits me. The Bell House was pleasant when I visited a couple of days ago, so I decide to head down towards the main street and get a coffee there while working out my next moves. Coming to the door of the cafe, I pause and wipe my feet off the mat outside. The human satisfaction with surrounding themselves in concrete makes a little more sense as I work the mud off my feet. With that, I finally head inside, only to stop in my tracks as the door shut behind me. Oh! It's her! She's back! Standing behind the counter is the same girl who I saw reading in the library yesterday, talking with a customer as she takes their order. That gentle aura about her is unmistakable. The person in front of me finishes their order, and I step up to the counter.
Good morning. Welcome to the Bell House.
Ooh, she's so cute.
What can I make for you today?
And she's a tall woman. She's a tall lady.
Oh, hi. I'll have...
Affogato? Vanilla latte?
What do you recommend? I want to try something new.
I'm glad you asked. I was just thinking that you look like the sort of person who would enjoy one of our Fairy Kiss chillers.
Oh.
It's one of our signature drinks, with a vanilla gelato base and a mint chocolate chip swirl.
Oh my god. That actually sounds good.
Okay. Give me one of those then.
Perfect. And could I get your name, please?
It's Miho.
She scribbles something onto a cup and finishes it with a big flourish.
I'll have that right out for you.
Thanks.
Arigatou gozaimasu. I pay and then go take the same spot as before, next to one of the windows. It's pretty empty in here again, so I can sit wherever I want. Before the barista starts making my drink, I spot her writing something else in a little book. She glances my way once or twice while she does, but I pretend not to notice. I wonder what it is. The barista yesterday didn't write anything down. Anyway, I've got more important things on my mind. I mull over the plan which formed as I walked here, becoming increasingly happy with it. Tonight, I've already decided I'm going to sneak back into that library. Between that picture frame and some of the other trinkets I saw, I should be able to palfer, I forgot how to read this word, enough to fund my next few days in Wellington. Finding somewhere to sell it should be the easy part. I've got a dozen excuses that I can recite about where the items came from. Dead grandma, spring cleaning, new renovations. Sometimes I try extra hard and pretend that the things I'm selling are really special to me. I'd earn a bit more cash that way. Sometimes I just take whatever they give me. After years of watching other humans do it, trying it out myself, I've gotten good at pawning items off. Oh, I find myself idly watching the barista and make my drink. Wait, I find myself idly watching the barista make my drink. While I do, I practice a disarming smile. All of her movements are quick and practiced, but she has the same faraway look in her eyes that I noticed yesterday. She looks up and our eyes meet. Oh, she blushing! Ay, ay, ay. I don't look away and she turns pink before ducking away behind the machine, out of sight.
Huh. Weird girl.
I turn my head around to look around the cafe. A butterfly outside catches my attention, so I watch that instead. It flutters back and forth, landing on a flower and resting its wings.
Miho!
Oh, my coffee's ready. I quickly get up and skip over to the counter. Cup in hand, she starts to head over to give it to me. But then, several things happen at once. Oh no! One of the little tassels on the pockets of her apron catches on the drawers behind the counter, and she jerks to a stop, eyes wide with surprise. No! And my drink tumbles out of her hand, landing on the counter with a wet glop sound, gloop sound, as the ice cream splats against it, sending mint green rivers of coffee everywhere. A few seconds pass, where we just look at each other, neither of us quite sure what to do. And then she takes a deep breath.
I am so sorry. I'll make you a replacement right away. Just give me 1 second and I'll have that ready for you.
Baby girl. Her words spill out faster than the beverage, making it hard to even understand what she's saying. Her face bright red as she spins back around and grabs another empty cup. Then she stops, hands hovering awkwardly.
Wait, I should clean this up before it dries and starts to go bad.
Baby girl. She hurries back to the mess, wiping it with some napkins. She mops as if she can with one hand, then leaves the soggy paper on the counter while she starts to remake my drink.
I'm really sorry. This is such an embarrassment. I
don't even know if she's talking to me or to herself. I freeze up for a second, looking for an appropriate response to apologize. I'm not used to people apologizing to me.
Oh, it's fine. I'm not in a hurry.
Instead, I just sit back down at one of the tables and watch. She makes the drink twice as fast and then carries it very slowly to the counter, setting it down in a clean spot. This time, she takes a deep breath before speaking, like she's afraid she's going to mess that up too.
All right. Here's your drink. Again, I'm very sorry. Oh. This is your first time here, isn't it? Oh, I hope it doesn't leave a bad impression.
Second, actually. Yesterday was the first time. How'd you know?
I make an effort to remember as many of our customers as I can, as well as their favorite orders. I believe you can learn a lot about a person from how they drink their coffee.
Well, that's too bad for her because she won't remember me at all next time. I take a big sip of the drink she made for me. It's creamy, rich, and sweet all at the same time.
Whoa, this is really good. It's kind of like a milkshake, but not. But it's not like coffee either.
I wanna go to a cafe tuloy.
Yes, exactly. I'm very glad that you like it. It's one of my favorite beverages that we serve. In fact, the recipe was my idea.
Ooh.
Whoa! They should put you in charge of all the recipes.
She smiles again. Seems like she's gotten over the crisis of the spilled drink already.
Thank you. I'll make you another one of my favorites next time, if you'd like.
Ooh.
Totally.
Ooh. At least I'll know what to order next time, even though I'll have been forgotten. I'm already thinking of this place as my go-to coffee shop, especially since it's in a convenient area. With tasty drinks and cute baristas, I don't have a reason to go anywhere else. A knocking sound from the employee area gets both our attention.
Hey, Aspen, can you set another batch of croissants?
Poisson.
Oh, sure, I'll be right there.
Poisson. She calls back over her shoulder, and then looks back at me briefly.
Have a nice day, Miho.
You too!
With a wave, she gathers the trash from the cleanup and throws that away before disappearing into the back. So her name is Aspen. That's a pretty name. Somehow I'm thinking that it sounds like Aspin. I'll have to try and remember that. Getting up from my seat, I decided to head back outside for some fresh air, sipping my Fairy Kiss chiller as I go. I head out the door and onto the increasingly busy main street. I already know my plans for tonight, but I've still got some time to kill before then. What should I do? Ah, the demo ends there. So how was it, guys? I hope you all enjoyed this story, cuz I did. I like the voice acting, I like the artworks. And the story is pretty interesting. I think though that the person who gave Miho the necklace and the scroll is no longer in this, like, I don't know, Earth. It's not Earth because there are floating islands and then an underworld realm, I guess. And what you call this? I forgot what I was going to say. Let me gather my thoughts. Oh yeah, the lore. So this is a fantasy setting. There are creatures that are not human, like cyclops and mermaids and Miho, but there are humans too, I guess, like the person who always visited her back then, and I guess Aspen and the lady at the library are humans as well. Yeah, it's been a nice visual novel experience. Yay! Tomorrow, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I actually don't have any plans now because all that I have left that is planned is my any song karaoke. Woo! I've been practicing and it's been a fun practice, but don't expect too much. So abang-abang lang kayo. It'll be in a few days. Tomorrow, I'll think of something to do. Hopefully, we won't have technical problems, whatever I plan, because actually earlier I was a bit worried because my internet was being wonky, like an hour close to my stream time. It suddenly like disconnects and stuff. So I was like, boy, do not do this to me. But fortunately, our internet connection did not disappear. And we had a continuous stream. I hope the audio was also good, and my reading skills was good enough. I tried my best not to get tongue-tied, not to misread things, and all that. But I think that's it for me. See you tomorrow. Good night. Ingat. Mwah, chup 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 mwah 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 mwah. See ya. Ingat.